Alright, what's up guys? Chocosir here, and we're back with another Secret of Mana Randomizer Seed of the Week. This is number 239, and for this week we have a Vanilla Long Seed for this week. Alright, so we have 13 flags for this weekly seed. Let's go ahead and take a look at them and see what we are dealing with. Starting off, we have a girl start. We have restrictive logic as always. We have the flamey drum in logic as well. So we will need to locate that among the checks. We also have hints disabled. It is what it says. We do not have access to hints on this run, aside from the Nestle Berry if we can get to them. But other than that, no hints are available. We are on our own and we must check everything blind. Swapped bosses basically means that the bosses are randomized. They can be duplicated. Depends on what we find. Randomized boss elements, of course, is a pretty annoying flag. Sometimes the bosses can spawn as a random. They'll have a random elemental affinity to them. They can cast spells of their randomized elemental affinities. Some of them can spawn as non-elemental, which means they can use spells of pretty much every elemental in the game. We also have no chest drops. It is what it says. Enemies will not be dropping treasure chests this run. No trash weapons. We won't be seeing trash weapons forged from Watts. Usually Watts has a very low chance to forge a trash weapon, but we won't be seeing any trash weapons due to this flag. Other characters don't exist. This means this is going to be a solo girl run. However, because of the next flag, random character roles are set to unique. We could have either the girl in the boys role or the sprites role. Or she could also retain her vanilla role as well. So it is going to be a solo girl run. However, she could lose her magic, or she could be wielding sprite magic. So with that said, it's basically either a solo boy, solo girl, or solo sprite run. But the character model we will be controlling is going to be Prims. Random enemy spawns, it is what it says. We can see any enemy in any location in the game. We also have random status ailments set to awful. And we have a 100 gold start. Alright, so since we are going to be solo this run, there is no boy, there is no sprite. I'm going to try, if the seed allows me to anyway, I'm going to try to look for certain pieces of gear such as golem rings, IV amulets, anything that protects against, unconsciousness, slow. Golem rings the only ring that protects against slow. Frosty ring maybe, I don't know. But IV amulet I think is probably going to be the most important thing that I want to find, because we are solo, and if we get into a situation where we run into, say, a dryad element boss and it casts leaf flower, then we will be knocked out for 10 seconds, and we do not have access to anything that can cure it, since we don't have any other characters. So I'm going to try and see if I can find IV amulets this run. Also, depending on what the girl's role is this run will determine how I run this seed. So if we are, magicless and she ends up as the boy, then this is going to be basically a solo boy run, and I'll have to forge a bunch of weapons, look for a lunar weapon for mana beast probably. But if we end up with the sprites role, then the seed shouldn't be too bad, especially if we find elementals early, if we find mana seeds early. So we'll see. Alright, so let's get things started. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we have 40 HP. That means Prim is the sprite. So we will have sprite magic this run. Okay, bow start. Alright, so this seed shouldn't be too bad, because we do have access to sprite magic this run. Light con on the bow. So, I mean, technically this is a solo sprite run. Let's just put it that way. But we're controlling Prim. Alright, shop has nothing we can use. Speaking of the shop, we are technically naked right now since the Kung Fu suit that Prim comes in with is not equipped since she has assumed the sprite's role. And that means we cannot use the Kung Fu suit as the sprite, obviously. That means we need to find some armor for her and fast. Okay, that is a light element Snapdragon. We don't want any part of that. We have a light elemental bow. We do literally 0 damage to that thing. Alright, so with that said, I could run over to Undini's cave. Oh god. Okay, this is bad. I'm resetting. We don't have armor. We actually get killed right there. We legit actually get killed right there because, like I just finished saying, we do not have armor right now because Prim is assuming the role of the sprite right now, and we do not, or we can't rather, equip the Kung Fu suit. So we gotta be super careful here. More likely than not, I'm not going to be going through with this check because, as I just finished saying, we do not have any defense right now. Unless it's something we can actually exploit. I don't like that. I don't like that. We have a light element weapon. I can probably exploit that, but it's sketchy. It's very sketchy. Especially in that location. We go upper land here for sure. Normally, I would have done that fight. But the fact is, we have a light element bow, which means we do reduced damage to that thing anyway. And we don't have defense right now, so that's a pretty sketchy fight. I mean, I could AI manipulate to the point where it doesn't do damage to me, but even then it's gonna take, that's like a 3 to 4 minute fight with this weapon. Not to mention we are sprite, so we don't do much damage in general at level 1 anyway. Okay, that's a Dryad orb. Ow. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Okay, glove orb. And... ooh, okay, 2,000 bucks is good. I'm actually gonna check Nico's here. Is there anything cheap I can get here? Not really. I mean, yeah, I can buy some of these, but I would rather save my money. We got to be very careful here. We need to try to make it to Dwarf Village in one piece here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, we can buy at least the silver band, the chest guard. Yeah, but that's too much money. Nico charges double price on everything, so unless you're rich, then it's not worth buying from him. Unless there's something I really need. I am going to check this Nico though. Oh, brother. I mean, I could grab this. Yeah, we'll grab that. Alright, there's Ivy Amulet on Nico, which is quite unfortunate because that is going to be 3,700 gold. Well then, okay. Flamey Drum on Watts. Real cute. Yeah, nothing on Elder. Luna. You know, what I might do is just clear this out anyway, since I'm already here. Okay, there's Undini. We rope out. Yeah, I might just clear this out right now. We got fancy overalls here. That's nice. We take those. So we'll take this power risk too. Sure. Alright, so now we're much better off right now as far as defense. For now, anyway. Actually, I think I changed my mind. I don't like it. I think my best play here is to do freebies. Because the last thing I want to run into is like something I can't kill with my magic. If I can't pop the boss with 4 free spells, then I don't want to mess with it. Okay, 600 bucks. Yeah, so I think I just want to do freebies here. I think we just go straight to Matango here, right? Ooh. Okay, this is actually nice. Yeah, I'm committing. No, not that. I'm committing. We can sell... I'm gonna keep that power list for now. We can sell the Rabbi Cap. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm going to, you know, look for armor that gives status protection, like, you know, slow protection, sleep protection. Because we're solo. Okay, there's Shade. Shade is good. We have Undini, we have Shade. I think my next stop is Mara. Okay, nothing on Mara. Not surprising. We know where Ivies are. Check castle here. Ah, dang enemies in the way. Get out of here. Okay, 1,600 gold and no. Alright, Gnome is nice. We rope out rather, not reset, but we rope out. Since this is a solo girl seed, well, she has sprite magic, but it's a solo girl seed regardless. Since she has the sprites roll, then that means Lumina is not going to be in the seed. I know the tracker is sometimes going to put Lumina there. It's going to light it up, but Lumina is not in the seed. I don't know why the tracker does that. I have half a mind to just full clear this place right now, but I probably shouldn't. Alright, Boom Orb. More likely than not, this is going to be a freebies into an early game clear. More likely than not. Also, here's hoping we find Luna somewhere early in the seed. Another Boom Orb. Yeah, we check the back chest here. I think after this we go Ice Country. Yeah, you can go ahead with your speed down, buddy. And that is why we picked up the Golem Ring, in case that happens. The Golem Ring is the best thing to have against slow effects, or tangling effects. Because we're dealing with random enemy spawns, and we can see those guys anytime, anywhere. And sometimes they just, you know, they'll decide to just throw a speed down at you. Just because. It's not guaranteed like owls or owl silencers. Damn. Okay, nothing back here. Let's swap out. Those guys right there can slow you too with speed down as well. The wolves, four-legged wolves can. All right, so Ice Country it is. Let's check Santa's house. Not to mention we don't have medical herbs right now, so we can't get rid of slow. All right, there's the javelin. We can check it out, I guess. Ooh, okay, int weapon, perfect. Perfect. I think from here we go to Lighthouse. Okay, bow orb. Hope out. Yeah, we go Lighthouse. Now, the smart thing to do here is to go for go for information at Sunken Continent and see what the first 2 orb rooms are. Because again, we don't have access to hints this run. So we are flying blind here. We don't know what we need to get through there. Okay, Axe Orb. Now, it'll suck if we find the whip at like Tasnica or Turtle Isle or something, but I'm willing to check these anyway right now. Alright, so hopefully we can get a little bit of information here as to what we need to get through here later on. Okay, Shade. We do have Shade. We can pop this orb right now. Alright, so Shade's required. We already have Shade. Dryad. Okay, so Dryad is also required. This is good information, though. This is very good information. Okay, that's all we can do here since we don't have the whip. I don't know why I'm walking out like a dummy. Tasnica into Turtle Isle, I guess. I could make a play for Fire Palace as well. I mean, we do have 3 elementals, so maybe we have a chance of getting past the first orb. I don't know. Okay, 200 bucks on the king. Hope out. I mean, we pretty much have, I don't want to say a 50-50 chance. It's a little bit less than that because we only have 7 elementals this seed. Because we know Lumina's not in the seed at all. Since there's no grow. I guess we can peek it just to see what it is. We need all the information we can get, honestly. Ooh, okay, we can actually get through here. Okay, so we can get to the first chest. Now, whether we can get to the second or third chest is another story. Yeah, that's a bow orb. Can we get past this orb? No. Okay, that's a salamander orb. Can't do nothing about that until we get Salamando, that is. Playing me out. Okay, so I think we are good for now. We go to Pandora. Might as well check the shop while I'm here. I'm only looking for certain pieces of armor at this point. Ooh. Yes, we take that. We absolutely take that. I can sell this. Yeah. Circuit. is very nice to have because not only does it give +5 to intelligence, it's 38 defense, which is a lot in early game. Not to mention, we are still running around with no mana seeds. So right now we need all the magic damage we can get right now. And circuit, certainly helps. Between our bow and the circlet, we do have +15 to intelligence on Prim here, so her spells, even at level 0, shouldn't be too bad as far as damage. We can also just flat out sit on this circuit for probably the rest of the run. And we also don't need to worry about finding Tiger Cap now, since Circlet is better than Tiger Cap. Not by much, but it's better regardless. We still have Golem Ring and fancy overalls. So next upgrade is probably Ivy Amulet once I get the money, and Golden Vest if I find it. Alright, who is this? Oh, okay, well. I think I need 2 of these. Yep. Okay, so we evade the treasury, and most likely we're just gonna go for early game checks. We saw the Snapdragon at Mantisant, so we do have a solution for that now. Jab Orb, Sylphid. Okay, Sylphid's good. We take that because we might need Sylphid for Grand Palace. We don't know yet. I'm gonna peek in this shop just to see if Golden Vest or Ivy Amulet's in here. We seen Ivy Amulet, yeah, but I don't want to pay 3,700 for that if I can avoid it. Okay, Tiger Suit's there. That's nice. That's 6,300 though. And we don't have to worry about Tiger Suit for a long time unless this seed gets to the point where we end up at like level 20 or something. Oops. Alright, we check girl, whip orb on her. Hopefully there's a mana seed down here too. It would be nice. Okay, sword is good. We take that. Whip orb. Another whip orb. Okay, earth seed is good. Spear. And 400 bucks. Alright, perfect. We do have a cutting weapon now. Sword is dark agility, spear, high damage and slow. We rope out, and I think we go to Potos here actually. Yeah, I think I'll go to Potos here. We want to check the sword pedestal. Matter of fact, what I might just do is get everything up to level 1. Yeah. We're also carrying what I like to call the economy elementals. Shade, Gnome, and Sylphid. We'll go for Gnome here. So we're just gonna spend a little bit of time getting these spells to level 1. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, I only have 2 MP left. We can spend that on 2 silencers. And that way Next cycle. Oh, you actually dodged it. Next cycle, we get up freeze and one more silence cast, and that'll level both of those up. Freeze is gonna take 7 spells though. Oh, no, it's gonna take 3. I only have 1 seed. Never mind. What am I talking about? I'm thinking like I had 2 seeds. I only had 1 seed. So we do silence. And gotta find another target. There we go. Alright, we're good. Okay, so I mean we can checkmate the Sant right now, might as well. And then we can check the sword pedestal. Alright, so everything is level 1. We know there's a light element Snapdragon here. We should be able to pop him with 2 Dark Forces. Yep. Alright, Sword Orb and Spear Orb. No thanks. We're just gonna go ahead and reset out of that. Oops. Take up the sword because we need to cut through these bushes out here. Let's see. After we check the sword pedestal, I think we go to Dwarf Village. And we save split those checks, and I think after that we go to Undini's cave. And I'm getting slept. Yeah. This is why we want Ivy Amulet, by the way, because I'm gonna lose time here. Unless he walks up and bites me, which he's not in position to. That is the reason why we want Ivy Amulet on our character, to prevent that. Okay, there's Dryad though. Okay, Dryad's here. Although first seems awful here because we don't have Luna, so I don't know. I mean, I guess what I could do, I'm going down to save anyway. I might as well just do this real quick. At least get it to level 1. Okay. How much money do we have? 700. Bow's intelligence. Actually, Javelin's intelligence. My bad. Oh, okay. It works. Okay, Beast Agility Dryad, Intelligence Thunder, Strength Earth Throw on the Javelin. That's nice. Alright. Absolutely will take that. I'm only upgrading in case I need to, you know, melee when I run out of MP on anything. Alright, so we check Tropicalo, see what's here. This is Sylphid element. Okay, we gotta be a little bit careful here. Take up the bow. We do have Gnome though. I have to just send it here. Okay. So there actually isn't much we can do early right now aside from this and Undini's cave, that is. And we checked everything else so far. Love Orb, Dryad Seed, Sea Hairtail. We keep those. We absolutely keep those. Can't turn into Earthseed without Luna. And the whip for that matter. I could turn into Dryad Seed. I could do that. Chavacalo? Yeah. Speaking of Luna, I believe this looks like it's Luna element, so we'll cast Burst here. I might need 2 though. Yeah. Alright, so far so good. We're in a pretty good spot as far as damage. Although, if we don't find Luna soon, I'm going to have to save up money to get walnuts. Alright, Spear's Orb, nothing. Reset. Okay, so what's... Oh, right, Undini's Cave. That's what I said I was going to do next. And we know what's there. We know what's there. We know exactly what boss is there. We have something for him. Let me think. We can turn in the Sea Hairtail and then turn in the Dryad Seed, maybe? Seems like a good idea. Okay. We're seeing quite a few light elemental bosses, which is a good thing because we do have shade. Alright, another bow warp there. This is nothing and a bow warp. Okay, so reset. We turn in the Sea Hairtail. And then we go turn in the Dryad Seed. I think that's probably our next best course of action here. I would say we can go to the Nesselberry, but we can't right now. Not without either a whip or an axe. What do you have? Just curious. Okay, nothing I want. Alright, Jab Orb. We do have 2 Mana Seeds now. Alright, let's turn in the Dryad Seed and see what we get. Oh, you again? I mean, I don't mind. I mean, if you want to keep sending these light elemental bosses at me, I'm down. I don't care. I'll just blow them up with Dark Force. Okay. Check the Dryad Seed pedestal, see what's there. We can check Hexes while we're here. Okay, there's the whip and 2,000 gold. Okay, that's good. Whip is good because now what we can do is check the rest of Grand Palace. Ugh. I don't like this though. He might be casting wall. Okay, we gotta reset. No, I'm gonna load the autosave here. And get this over, unfortunately. And this is why Dryad Elemental bosses are annoying, because they can cast wall whenever they want to. Wall. Nope. That's even worse. Okay, he charged. That's good. Again? Yeah. I mean, randomized boss elements can do that to you. Alright, Boom Orb and Salamando. Okay, Salamando's nice. It's really nice because Salamando might be required for Grand Palace. Alright, so what we're going to do here, instead of checking Watermelon, we are going to head back down to Grand Palace and see what else we can learn here. Because there is a good chance that we're in go mode, but we don't know that. So right now, I just want to check and see what else we need. Because all we're missing right now is Luna. Okay, so this is Dryad. Cast one of these. Shoot this. I don't want him casting Balloon, not now. Alright, what is this? Ah, of course it is. Alright, so we need to find Luna. That was what I did not want to see. Unfortunately. Undini. We'll also check out the Grand Palace chest while we're here. Wind Seed is nice. Alright, so that's all we can do for now. Let's swap out. I think we go to Pandora and Sleep. We turn in the Wind Seed here. Alright, so now we know that Luna is required. So Luna is pretty much the only thing stopping us from getting Go mode. Because we have every other elemental, literally. Aside from Lumina, which is not in the seed, obviously. And we're running Sprite Magic instead of Girl Magic here. Alright, let's turn in the Wind Seed. Alright, Tompo. Okay. Looks like he's fire element, so let me try to pop him right now if I can. That should do it, right? Yeah. Nice. He was a Dryad biting lizard too, which would have been annoying. Okay, we could get our magic to level 3 here, which is not a bad idea. Especially since I just got that, so I think that's the right call here. Just to get this stuff up to level 3. We could cast a bit faster with this. And while I do this, I'm thinking about where my next, what my next move is here. Alright, so 3 seeds. We have every elemental except for Luna. We still don't have the axe. So checking late game areas seems kind of sus here. We can now check Witch's Castle. Yeah, Witch's Castle doesn't seem bad here. What are we working on next? I guess I could work on Salamander. I mean, if we run into any ice element bosses, we got something for that. I don't know. I mean, the Desert Berry might not even give us any good hints. Okay, that just spiked 3. Get this to 3 as well. Not too far off, and might as well get this to 3 as well. I don't know. I mean, I think the play here is probably to check mid-game areas. Okay, that should be it, right? I think everything's at level 3 now. Yes. Alright, so we're good. So our money look like 3,200. Um, I think the play here is to check mid-game areas. So let us go to... Oh, we have Salamander now. Let's go to Fire Palace. We can see what's beyond that Salamander orb. Could also check Ice Palace. Wouldn't be terrible. Alright, Sword Orb. We don't have the seed, so we can't complete this place fully, unfortunately. Okay, let me swap the Javelin here. This is Strength and Stone. Ooh, Light Seed is here, though. We can't do anything about that, though. We don't have the key. I honestly want to go Ice Country here. I'm going to pop a save. I think what I'm going to do here is save split Salamander Oven and both Ice Palace checks. We have the whip, so we can get through Ice Palace now. I don't know. I mean, I feel as though checking mid-game areas is the play here. Late-game areas seems sus without the axe. I mean, there's also Pure Land too, yeah, but I don't want to mess with that place. Okay, you, sir, are water element, looks like. So let's try Fireball. Yeah. You did. Yep. We're looking for Luna. So, let me see. Unless Luna's in Pure Land, which I hope to God she's not. She could be, though. Luna is probably locked behind something. More than likely, at this point. Okay, we reset out of that. We don't care about that. We're not reforging anything else for the rest of the run. We have an int weapon in the bow. We also have a stone and strength weapon in the javelin, so we're not interested in reforging anything else. Alright, let me check Ice Palace. And then after this, I think I just go Empire checks. This might be one of those situations where Luna could be sitting there in the back of Northtown Ruins. Which, I hope not. I really hope not. But chances are she's locked behind something. Hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this. Okay, so this should be a mantis ant right here. Yeah, because we fought one in Undini's cave. I don't think that kills. Nope. Can we sub-hour the seed? I highly doubt it. Unless Luna's like right here, I highly doubt it. Nope. Okay, so Glovo up there. I want to check False Gigas and see what's here. I think the worst case scenario here is if Luna's locked behind the axe somewhere. Okay. Ah, too close, too close, too close. Nope, we're good. We found the light seed in the fire palace, but we can't do anything with it. Not without the key anyway. Without the tower key. Axe orb, glove orb. Reset. Alright, so nothing in Ice Palace. Yeah, I think we just go straight to Empire here. Honestly, what I might end up doing is just fully clearing out mid-game. Well, most of it. As much as I can anyway. Be safe. Again, we are looking for Luna. Looking for that cute little moon spirit. Man, Shade, you are getting some serious screen time, buddy. You keep running into these light element bosses. You should be dead, right? Yep. I mean... okay, there's that. Actually, do I check that? I kind of want to check that now. But no, let me stay here. Gold key gives us access to 4 checks. What I might do is check that after this. Because honestly, checking Light Palace seems better than checking Northtown Ruins right now. I gotta think. We don't like this though. I guess we go with freeze. And this is an axe beak too, so it has magic defense. 68. There we go. I would have killed in that that salvo of freezes, but I rolled low on the last two, unfortunately. It happens. Luna? Darkseed. Well, can't do anything about that, unfortunately. 4,400. Okay, okay. Okay, here's the plan. You plan me out. I'm gonna stop by Gaia's Navel real quick. And I'm gonna pick up an IV amulet because I do not want to be getting knocked unconscious at this point. So we'll get that, and then I can't check Darkseed. We don't have the freaking axe. I think we just go to Gold Isle and check Light Palace, right? I think that might be the play. Yeah, I do want this. I definitely want this. What are we, level 12? 13. Okay, we should be okay. We should be fine. We have 5 C's now too, so our spells are getting stronger. I mean, I kind of like this play better than Northtown Ruins right now. I do want to save split it though. Ideally, I want to try to avoid Pure Land, and it's not because I can't do it. It's because that it just seems like not a bad play, but I don't think it's a good play right now. Shoot this. Luna? No. Vampire? What element are you? Fire. Okay. I got something for you, Mr. Vampire. Mr. Buffy. Ooh, 620. Okay. I mean, Pure Land doesn't seem bad though, but if we kill all 6 bosses there and Luna's not there, then that'll feel really bad. Okay, Axe Orb. Because we don't need anything else right now. Once we find Luna, we're in go mode. Okay, Water Seed, that's nice. And Luna could be behind that too. But I don't know. Snake. What element? Dark. Oh, God. Alright. I don't have walnuts either. Alright, so here's hoping that we kill here. You did. Yes. Alright, Jab Orb. Okay, Light Seed Pedestal has a Spear Orb. Wow, Luna is behind the freaking Light Seed Pedestal? Are you serious? Ew. So we needed to kill Hold on. Let me check my money. I need walnuts. I might need walnuts. 25.70. All right, let me walk down here real quick. We needed to get the gold key from Metal Mantis, and then we needed to get the light seed. I mean, this could have been much worse, honestly. Definitely could have been much worse. I think we just buy 3 here. I really think we're fine as far as armor. Yeah, I think we're good. One thing I do want to do is to get Luna up to like level 3. And I can do that in Grand Palace. I can do a little grind with Luna real quick. Okay, let me get away from that. Alright, well, it's not going to go as smoothly as I thought. Yeah, ideally you want 2 characters. Ideally. Yeah, it's hard to... Alright, we should be fine now. It's hard to get back into the menu there without having the green numbers pop up. Not when you're solo anyway, it is. If you have 2 characters, you can do it easily. But when you're solo, it's a little bit harder to spam Magic Absorb without the MP popping up there. Okay, so we did this side, right? We did that side. We have to do this side. That's shade. Sylphid. Okay. Sylphid was also required. Alright, so that should do it. Yep, this is why we buy Ivy Amulet, folks. We don't want to get hit by random Sleep Flower spells and lose a bunch of time. Because, I mean, if you get hit by several Sleep Flower spells during the course of a run, then you lose quite a bit of time. The time you lose adds up pretty quickly. I mean, if you say so, game. Okay. I'm trying to think. I should be good as far as armor. I should be fine. I kind of want to upgrade my fancy overalls, but we really haven't seen Golden Vest or Ruby Vest for that matter, so I'm just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. It's funny that we get the vanilla Mana Fortress music in this part. But yeah, I mean, this seed, this seed, I don't think is too bad. It's just some of your requirements are in, I'm not gonna say they're in ugly spots, but they're in weird spots. But all in all, this seed definitely could have been worse. Nick. Alright, we do have a level 6 free, so I'm gonna rely on this or level 5 rather. Rely on this to kill this guy. Since we don't have access to Lumina. 5 MP. Did? Yeah. Alright, 1,800 bucks, which is pointless at this stage of the run. Alright, Dread Slime. I'm surprised that only did 600 there. Go ahead and swap to the sword here. But yeah, like I said, this could have been worse. This could have been like a run where the girl was the boy's role. But honestly, maybe not, because we did find quite a bit of money this seed, so I don't know. Wow. Alright, so Moon Seed on the Mana Fortress. Alright, I do believe we are level, what, 17? So the Mana Beast is going to be like level 28 after this next boss anyway. Assuming I level up on this next boss, which I might. I don't know. Ooh. Are you? You're fire element. Okay. I was about to say earth element for a second there. I'm glad you showed me. You cast one at a time here. Yeah. This is when we don't chain cast because our spells are so strong at this point. Well, freeze anyway. Okay. I was just going to say that thing was earth element. Glad it wasn't. Okay, level 19. So Mana Beast is going to be level 29. We're going to go ahead and, well, I'll do it when I get there. Go ahead and shrink ourselves. We got 15 MP, so we want to cast 2 of these. It's unfortunate that we have 15 MP though. I don't know if I reach in time. Yeah, no, we don't reach in time. I'm gonna go ahead and damage cancel that. This should be game right here. Should be. Yeah, that's GG. Alright, that's it. That does it for this seed. But yeah, it definitely could have been a lot worse though. Definitely. All right, 113.58 is our time for this seed of the week. Like I said, not that bad of a seed, honestly. I mean, you get sprite magic, so yeah, that by itself makes this seed a little bit more tame. But solo, the thing is, when you're running solo, you don't have access to, you know, the other 2 characters. You kind of have to change up your tactics a little bit, not only for boss fighting, but for, you know, getting through dungeons, especially when you're running something like random enemy spawns, because it is possible that you run into, you know, stuff like Nemesis Owls and Trap Flowers and the odd, like, speed down spell or something like that. And you want to try to prevent those as much as you can when you're solo, because especially Sleep Flower is kind of devastating when you're solo, especially if you are running into Trap Flowers a lot. If you're running into Dryad element bosses, it's also pretty devastating because If you're fighting bosses where they're a Dryad element and they will respond to you hitting them. Oh, excuse me. Case in point, Mech Rider. That's a perfect example because every time you hit Mech Rider, it's going to respawn with some type of spell. And if it's Dryad element, it can respawn with Sleep Flower, it can respawn with Wall. And you really have to be careful because if you're not careful, then you can easily, hurt yourself by reflecting your own spell back at you, or you can get put to sleep and you lose time. So playing solo, you kind of have to be a little bit more careful about what you do during your boss fights. And that's the main reason why I wanted to look for Ivy Amulet, especially toward the end, because once you get to the point in the run where you are going to start taking damage, and I don't think we got to that point. We might have been close with Fancy Overall, Circlet, and Ivy Amulet. We might have been close to that point, but I don't know. And once you get to that point where you are taking damage, that means anything that can put you to sleep or knock you unconscious will knock you unconscious. And you don't want to be dealing with that when you're by yourself. It's one thing if you have a full team of 3 members. You can just have someone toss a medical herb and everything's a-okay. But when you're solo, you can't do that. So you really have to be careful on... you have to prioritize protecting yourself. Getting armor on this run is not that hard to do. The seed gives you a decent amount of money to get armor. Early game can be a bit dangerous because you are technically the sprite and you start with no armor, so you have to be very careful until you can manage to get some money and buy some armor. Anywho, our early game was pretty straightforward. We did check early game bosses just to peek them, just to see what they were, with no intention of killing them. Matter of fact, we couldn't kill them because we started off with a light elemental weapon, and both Mantis Ant Spot and Tompo Spot were light elements, so we really couldn't do anything to those bosses early. So that's why I decided to go Upperland. That's pretty much all we can do. Upperland was a Dryad orb, but that didn't because we found the Flamey Drum on Watts, which was free. Do your freebies. We didn't get too much out of our freebies. What did we get? I think we got Gnome, we got Shade, we got the Javelin, we got some cash. I think we got Undini for free as well. So we get a couple of elementals and some money to get you started off. A standard early game freebies into Pandora Ruins is sufficient here. Treasury gives us the sword, which is our cutting weapon, the spear, which we don't care about, and 400 bucks, as well as the Earth Seed. So it gives you an Earth Seed to level up your spells to 1, and then you just, move on from there. Fully clearing our early game, not really possible because we did not have the whip nor the axe. So we couldn't even complete everything. We did everything that we could, but sometimes, the seed just says, no, I want you to go to other areas. And speaking of other areas, I felt as though checking, when I was looking for Luna, I felt as though checking mid game was a little bit more efficient than late game because, one, we did not have the axe, and the axe locks out a couple of late game areas. Dark Palace, for instance, we could not even touch Dark Palace without the axe. But before that, going to Grand Palace to learn what is required is, I believe, essential. because one, you don't have hints, and two, you're going to be checking blind anyway. And when you're running a seed where you have no hints, you want as much information as you can get. Otherwise, you will have no choice but to check blind. The blind check these elementals and whatnot. So we learned that Dryad was required. We did not have Dryad at the time when we first checked the lower two rooms. And that's usually a good play to make on a disable hint seed, is just to check those first two rooms in Grand Palace just to see what you need. Because the seed's obviously not going to tell you. And then that gives you a little bit of information. Oh, okay, I need this and I need this to get through the first two rooms. Cool. So now you focus on finding those two elementals. We had, I think the first two elementals were Shade and Dryad. So we had Shade when we went through there. So pop that orb and then look in the other room, see it's Dryad. Okay, now you know you need Dryad. So you make Dryad you make finding Dryad a priority because of course you need it to finish the run. The whip was in a pretty silly spot, sorta. I believe the whip was on the Dryad Seed pedestal, which we needed to kill Tropicalo. Now, I think what I could have done early was when I found the Flamey Drum, I probably could have just save split Tropicalo and Kilroy right then and there since I was already there instead of having to come back. That's probably what I should have done. I don't know if that would have changed my route any though, because we found the Dryad Seed. And what else did we find there? I think we found the Sea Hare Tail on Tropicalo too. So I don't think that would have changed my route any. Probably would have made killing that boss a bit slower though. I don't know. But once we find the whip, that's when I feel the seed kind of opens up to you a little bit, since you have access to the rest of the Grand Palace. And you definitely should check to see what other elementals you need. And that's what we did. Eventually, we learned that we needed to find Luna. Luna, unfortunately, was in a pretty silly spot. Could have definitely been worse, but in order to get Luna, we had to fetch the gold key from the Metal Mantis spot, which that was also in a silly spot. And we needed to get the light seed out of the fire power chest, which required us to get both Shade and Salamando. Shade was free, and Salamando was behind I believe it was behind Hexus. So going Sunken Continent to learn what elementals we need for Grand Palace and then going to the bosses is probably the strongest play here, because you find the whip, you find Salamando, and you need both of those. And then we just had to blind check Luna pretty much because we had no hints. Now, there is a world where I could have gone to the Nesuberry once I got the whip. And I don't know. I mean, I could have. But what are the chances that the Nesuberry gives me a useful hint? At this point in the run, I'm only looking for one thing. I'm only looking for Luna. So if I would have went there and the Nesuberry tells me, such and such is such and such a place, then that wouldn't have helped me out, and it would have been a waste of time. The Nesuberry is something that it's best if you get to it early, if you can. Sometimes the seed just says no, you're not allowed to. You don't get an axe, you don't get a sword, you don't get a whip to get to Witch's Castle early. Sometimes that happens, and it happened this seed. We did not have access to Witch's Castle early, so that's just it is what it is thing. But I feel as though the Nesuberry needs to be done early in order to get the most use out of it. At that part of the run, going to Nesuberry is pretty much a gamble because we don't know what kind of hint it's going to give us, if we get a hint at all. We had quite a bit before having access to the Nestle Berry, so there was a chance that the Nestle Berry would not have given us any hints at all. So I didn't want to take that chance. It basically came down to searching mid-game areas and then doing Pure Land. And honestly, I can see runners going Pure Land in this instance. I can see it. But I felt as though doing mid-game checks was a little bit more viable here. Not to mention, Pure Land, honestly, Pure Land is kind of hard to save split because there's 6 bosses. And there is a chance that there's absolutely nothing there. And if in that case, I guess you could just pop a save before going there and then killing 6 bosses, checking mana tree, and if Pure Land is entirely haunted, then yeah, you can reset out of all 6 of those checks or 7 checks. But more likely than not, Pure Land is going to have something. Not necessarily what we need, but it's going to have, like a mana seed or an elemental, something that you might need, or something that's even useful to you on boss fights and whatnot. But I decided to check mid-game areas because, you know what, they're quicker to check. We do have level 3 spells. We can save split out of them more easily. So I mean, we had to check blind anyway, so I don't think it would have mattered whether I checked mid-game or check Pure Land in that instance, but it is what it is. All right, anywho, 113.58 is our time for this seed of the week, number 239. It is Saturday as I'm recording this video. You guys won't see this until Friday. I suppose I can just put this time in right now and see exactly what we're dealing with here as far as times. I don't think the other runners have finished the seed yet. The majority of them anyway. So we have 113.58. All right. So oh wow, we have 2 DNFs here. I wonder what happened. Oh, I see. Oh, so one of the runners' saves got deleted. I wonder how that happened. Huh. Interesting. Oh, okay. That's pretty unfortunate. I mean, technical things happen, and I've had that happen to me too, where my game would just flat out crash, and my saves would just get wiped. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that though. Yeah. So with that said, some news on this is non-mana related though. I have, and I know some of you guys are gonna hate to hear this, but I have decided to fully retire from Jets of Time. And you guys may be wondering why you retiring from Jets of Time now. Well, to be honest with you, I don't find that rando to be fun anymore, and that's just to put it plain and loose. I don't find it fun anymore. The seeds are just too long. with me. It's come to the point where I'll boot up a seed and I'll lose interest in playing through it like an hour in. I feel it's slower paced, and I really don't care for slower paced randos. I mean, not to mention I've been playing Jets of Time since like 2020 or something like that, or back when it was called Wings of Time. But I just don't find it fun anymore. Um, and I'm not just saying that because I'm rage quitting. No, I'm not rage quitting. I just don't want to play the rando anymore. That's just it. Um, so yeah, I'm officially retiring from Just of Time. I will not be uploading any more Just of Time videos to my channel. The ones that are on there now, they can stay up, but I won't be doing any more JOT videos. And I know some of you guys might not like that, but yeah. Although I might be, and this is a might, I might be getting into Evermore Rando soon. I might be doing that soon. Because Evermore, Secret of Evermore is one of those games where I've played through 10 billion times and I haven't been able to put it down at one point during my life. So I haven't played Evermore in God knows how long. I think it's been at least 10 years I haven't played Evermore. So, and there is a rando for it. So I might be getting into Evermore rando. So if you guys start seeing Evermore videos on my channel, then yeah, that's why. But I think it's time that I just step away from Just a Time for good. Like I said, I just don't. I don't find it fun anymore. And I'm not trying to throw shade on the randomizer. It's just my opinion. I just don't find it fun anymore. Yeah. So with that said, I will see you guys next time.